So here's my analysis update. To go back to the list real quick, there were no new closed listings, but there are some new pending or under contract listings. So let me go through those real quick. This is Sinbad. We talked about this one last time. Still hasn't got a contract at 94. Here's the condition that it's in. Yikes. It's not awful, I just feel like every square inch needs redecorating, is where your house actually has good colors and things that kind of need to be wrapped up in some level, but you got wallpaper that has to come down, purple walls, so a lot of money to be spent there. It is all brick, I like that. 94, then they're not getting it. This is the one that Holly really fell in love with when she looked at it, and I kind of got on to her because what I was saying is, if you like this house because it's really cute, you got to remember that you could do all this stuff to Carol's house, and it's, you know, in her house is a better house. It has the laminate floors, so it shows really well. It's got these open cabinets. Of course, they'll take their dishes with them. You know, this kind of stuff that I was like, Holly, you know, you shouldn't let this stuff woo you. And these floors were really rough. I know you have a little bit of cupping and staining, but I would probably hit your floors with a light sander and then another coat of poly, as where they really need help. So this is the one that I talked about last time on my little analysis. However, they didn't have a contract. So they were at 105 and they have a contract. That means they're probably closing within 2 to 4% of that. So they're probably closing around 100 is my guess. And just depending on how much they have to help sell the buyer out. So this is Graylin. Can't remember if I've seen this one or not. On the inside, oh yeah, okay. Has a contract. Price to, oh, I know this house. This guy was an investor. 147 on Graylin. Graylin's a little better street in terms of most of the houses are fixed up, but not drastically. This is right down the hill from my office. So to see what he did, it was just crazy. It does make me feel better about buying a little house in Donaldson. I would be shocked if he gets it to appraise out. I mean, I hope for his sake and for our community that he does. That'd be good for everybody. So that would be wild. Of course, you'd have to drop a lot of money to get it to that, even though your house is wonderful and cute. I mean, that's a gut right there. You can see all new cabinets, granite countertops. So we could call that a comparable in some sense, but you have to remember it'd probably take, I mean, realistically, $15,000–$20,000 to get your house to that level, and it wouldn't have a great return. So he probably bought that house for $70,000, and so it had a good return on for him. But anyway, so I don't know if that's really comparable. It just says what you could possibly get. It'd be great. This is a little one. Don't worry about this one. All this says is, you know, that, you know, this is for Holly's sake. She would say, well, I could buy a HUD for $70,000, but we're really busy, and even though Holly's real resourceful, she manages all my properties, she doesn't have time to deal with it. She would have to hire it all out, and she just doesn't have time. So she needs to get something like yours that maybe needs a little lipstick on it, but other than that, it's a great house ready to live in. So again, $75,000. These are the pendings that were not there. Again, $80,000 pending. Great lot, amazing lot. She would love that, but missed out on that one. And at 109 pending, this one I love. The biggest thing I see about this one is that it does just have the laminates and carpet and whatnot. It's not very attractive from the front, but I know Sharon Kipp, and she doesn't, you know, wholesale things, so they probably got close to that. So basically what that does is that gets us back to, if we consider just actives and pendings, we're closing for around 4%, 2 to 4% off of list. That gets you, we're not going to count the actives that were, let me see which actives were under contract. Okay, so only the bottom two we count because they were under contract, and one of them was crazy nice. So that one was the crazy nice one. So $128 a foot would, if they close anywhere close to that, And then back down here, we've got Wanda at 129 a foot. Again, this is, you know, ready to go. You got to spend some money. I'm not going to worry about those other ones because they're all in rough condition. So if we waited to see where those closed out, it could bring some more money to the table. So basically, if all these folks get within 5%, or 4% rather, of their list price, that would bring the square footage price to 24 to 29 a square foot. Assuming they got 29 would be they got exactly what they asked. 4% off that would be 24, which would mean that your house would come out, by the time you multiplied it times your square footage, this 768, your house would be between 95 and 96. I'm sorry, 95 and 99 a square foot. So yes, those are going to help you just a little bit. The problem is yeah, they look like they sold for more, but when you break it down by square foot, it does have kind of an inverse effect. It doesn't have as dramatic of effect because your house is smaller. So anyway, yeah, I think it's going to help. And of course, I told you where I want to list. I want to list higher than all this, but you know, just requires some things to be done. So anyway, just some thoughts to update my thinking. And of course, if these close, we'll know the exact numbers. But right now, they're just under contract.